So there have been a lot of people moving to Merida recently, and I've been hearing about what they've packed, what they haven't packed. I made a video over a year ago of what I packed, so I thought it'd be fun to react to what I brought. I can let you know what things maybe that I regretted or what things I should have brought more of. So I wasn't originally going to post a video of what we brought to Mexico because it felt very like common sense and boring, except that I talked a lot. Oh, the road track. Ah, good memories. Okay, so the first carry-on on the right-hand side, I went ahead and put my electronics. For electronics, like no regrets, except I have yet to use my blow dryer because yeah, my hair will dry relatively quickly here on its own. So I have yet, like that's probably one thing that I didn't need to bother bringing. I don't think there's any other electronics that I regret bringing. Like I'm grateful for the things I brought. For my hair type, I do not need the hair dryer. Next, the bag has like hard drives and just miscellaneous electronic items. My blow dryer, my tripod, and my cable for my laptop. Then I've got my blue jeans and I've got my cup that my mom gave me, added Alex's pants. I brought two blue jeans, one that I wore, one that I packed. Okay, so I wear blue jeans 24/7. 24/7, I don't care what the heat is. When I'm outside of the house, I am in blue jeans. Inside of the house, I'm probably wearing yoga pants, but outside of the house, I'm in blue jeans. Then on the left-hand side is all of my underwear and clothes, a little bit of Alex's socks, my Wi-Fi router, which everyone is saying is a mandatory thing to have. Lots of Wi-Fi in Merida, however, apparently the Wi-Fi router, I brought it, but I haven't used it at all. In both Airbnbs, we've had enough internet to where I didn't need to bring this extra item. And then I added just the little knickknacks, like my reading glasses, some gum. Then I added just some of Alex's clothes on top and zipped it up. So for my clothing, and I lean on the minimalist side, I brought all of my clothes, like all of my summer clothes. Oh gosh, I probably brought like 6 or 7 tops, and I think now I've got maybe 7 or 8. I've bought a couple shirts since then. But having lived in Italy and other places overseas, I just made the assumption that I was not gonna find the clothing I liked in Mexico, and I concur. In terms of, I guess, regular everyday wear clothing, I'll just be honest, I haven't found a lot of things that I like. I do find a decent amount of like exercise related clothing, that kind of stuff is easy to find here, I think. That being said, I only recently discovered going to authentic Mexican locations. So I do plan on purchasing more traditional Mexican Yucatecan clothing because I think those are just beautiful. I just haven't done it yet. But yeah, I came with the assumption that I was not gonna find any clothing for myself, and I think that's a very accurate assumption. I'm very glad that I brought the clothing that I brought. For Alex, I minimized. So I did bring 2 long pairs of pants because I wasn't sure if that was gonna be a prevalent thing. Here in Merida, Alex definitely wears 100% shorts. And I'm able to find clothing for Alex, but I understand that I'm buying clothing for Alex knowing that he's gonna grow. I'm happy to buy less expensive clothing for Alex. I'm okay when it turns out that maybe they were poorly made and they get destroyed really quickly. Like that doesn't bother me for Alex's stuff, but it does bother me for mine. Like when I buy clothing for me, I want it to last several years. That being said, I'm relatively happy with the choices I made. So aside from shirts, I did bring for each of us a rain jacket each. I'm glad for that. We don't wear them very often because it doesn't rain for too long, but like when it rains, it rains. So I am glad we have our rain jackets. I have a shawl here that it's pretty, it's soft, I love it, but I can never wear it because it's so rarely cold enough. Even when it got cold, I forgot that I had the shawl. I didn't even bring it out when it was cold. So yeah. Okay, so my large checked bag, I went ahead and dealt with Christmas basically on this guy. So underneath all that, unfortunately I forgot to take a pic, but it's his Christmas presents. They are not wrapped, which I am going to try to remember. We came here 2 days before Thanksgiving 2019. I'm beyond grateful that Alex's dad's side gave me like all these Christmas presents because we were starting the travel life. They weren't sure where to send it. So when we visited in October, they just gave me Alex's Christmas toys. Grateful because I brought all of those. And while I do want to go more and more towards a minimalist Christmas, the first year of travel would probably have been a horrible year to go completely minimalist. So I'm very glad that I brought all these presents because I think it made the transition to Mexico a lot easier. Also now looking at this knife, I love this knife that I brought and I'm glad. I don't think it has to be this particular knife, by the way. This is a Target knife. Like I just wanted the knife that I was used to. And so I brought a new one because the new ones of course come with the little case. So I didn't want to like carry a knife. So having the shield that it's inside of made me feel warm and fuzzy. Still use this knife, grateful that I have this knife. You can absolutely buy amazing knives here, but if we're talking about going to Walmart and buying an amazing knife, that is a little less likely. Right? Walmart or Chedraui or any of those kind of places where we might traditionally have purchased our knives in the US, you're maybe not going to get the quality that you want there. So I'm glad that I brought this big knife. Still use it every single day. Somebody told me that it's hard to find good carving knives or chef knives, so I brought one along. I made sure it was still in its package so I wouldn't have to deal with anyone worrying that I was intending to hurt people. And then of course I've just got miscellaneous small items like, you know, a way to shave my legs, a way to wash my face, and then a Christmas present for myself because yeah, that's what moms do. We wrap Christmas presents for ourselves. And I covered that all up with some workbooks that we have. Alex has since gone like a little closer to unschooling. I don't think he's used any of these workbooks since we've gotten here. I'm so glad we have them because if we ever want to use them or want to talk about it, we've got them, but I don't think actually that's not true. He's read the electricity book and we've got like a solar planet book that he has also read. So the textbook style items he's definitely read, but the workbook he's only done like in the beginning when I was forcing him to do them, but now that I don't force him to do them, he does not do them. On the right hand side, I've got all my liquid items, and the coffee and collagen products. So of course they're gone now. Like I've absolutely used them and I miss them so much, but it's like weighing the cost. So these particular products, which I absolutely love and adore, they're Modere. I've got a link below if you want, but at the end of the day, the cost of purchasing these items and the cost of bringing them to Mexico, like it's just not worth it. So ever since they ran out, I've been drinking predominantly tea, and then when I go out to restaurants, I've been enjoying the coffees there. My only regret is not bringing more of this stuff, but at the end of the day, I don't know if I'm gonna purchase these things and then bring them to Mexico. Like, yeah, I don't know. That bright green bag is actually a way for me to do laundry. The scrubber, I've actually used that here a couple of times because I don't have a washer and dryer here. I normally use a lavanderia, so I don't think you need to bring one, but I have absolutely used it for hand washing a couple of items here and there. The doggy bags. So these dog bags I bought from Amazon. They're the Amazon brand. They are much better than the ones you're gonna find at like Walmart here. I actually have not purchased any from the Petco because I think they're more expensive than just buying it from Amazon here. So perhaps the Petco brand is just as amazing, but cost effective wise, buy from Amazon Basics. When I went back to the US for our visa renewal, I bought another huge bag of these because I love this particular brand so much. The bags are slightly bigger, slightly thicker, and so I feel so much, I don't know, cleaner using the Amazon brand. Items like my probiotics and coffee items. I miss the probiotics. I think part of the reason why maybe Alex and I really never got sick when we first moved here is because I had the probiotics. Now we've run out of the probiotics though several months ago and I've yet to replace them and we've been okay. But I do think I need to start looking for probiotics locally here in Mexico. They do sell probiotics here. But I think that is probably one of the keys to how we stayed healthy during the transition phase, because anytime we move to a new country, there's usually some type of a transitional phase, and I do think maybe having things like probiotics will help with minimizing getting sick and helping you acclimate a little bit better. I do recommend just in general separating your items. Got laptop bags. I have, separate bags for like my electronics and anything that I'm worried about like flying around all over the place. Yeah, highly recommend packing bags, packing cubes in general. It helps a lot. So I do not know exactly why this actually happened in our RV life. We have to replace our phone chargers all the time. The little USB cables all the time. Now they're super cheap here in Merida, and especially Alex because he folds his a little bit more, but either way, the wear and tear on these things are much more. And again, I'm referring to the ones I had in the US. I just noticed the wear and tear was a lot during RV life, and it has continued here in Mexico. So yeah, bring your charging cables, bring some extra. But you will be buying more here. So there are definitely plenty to buy here. They're not very expensive, but they don't last that long.
And every woman needs pixie cups because life, of course my Q-tips, getting old so I need my glasses. That goes in the side pocket. I don't put anything else in there. I also have, of course, a charger for the phones. I actually have several of these, and this is just my solar one. Cable for the laptop, iPad, scale for the luggage. Keep that protected so I can pull it out if I need to. Double bowls for the dog. Single one because sometimes I just want to give him water. It's annoying to have the double. All of his heartworm type meds. Obviously deodorant. If you've ever traveled, I don't know, we get more stinky when we travel. Headsets. If Mexico is anything like Italy, they want to be loud. So I absolutely have 2 headsets, one for me, one for Alex.
We don't use them very often, but I am still really glad that we have the hearing protection. I've got the big ones, and I've got the small ones that like go inside your ear. There have been moments. And I might be a little more sensitive to sound than maybe you are, so you may not need them, but I have been very happy. They also help for my rare moments when I have like a migraine. It also helps to, of course, reduce the noise, so no regrets for the headsets.
Of course, book on Mexico. Gotta have the dictionary. I also have it, a translator on my phone. Gotta have makeup, handkerchiefs, small earplugs, my favorite shawl. I got it from Bahrain. You can use this as a pillow and of course to cover up if you get cold, especially again, traveling with a kid, you never know what he's gonna need. Checked bag number 2. So I've got my rain boots and sneakers for both of us, as well as Alex's flip-flops.
The rain boots I really only use during like the tropical storms, but I was very glad to have them because I still have to walk the dog, which means we're still going outside. So we brought river shoes, which I am very grateful for, highly recommend, especially if you're planning on visiting a cenote, because it's annoying to have to put your shoes on and off, in my opinion. Having some river shoes really helps. Both of our river shoes though are falling apart, and I need to figure out who can fix them. So there's a couple of shoe repair places which I'm gonna start checking out soon. Why buy new if I can get somebody to fix it? So we'll see if that's a thing.
Some vitamins and like wipes for the dog's ears, etc. Little things that aren't a high priority, but I want to have it just in case. I also have a laundry bag in there. In the middle is a purse for the dog to fit in. Yep, I'm one of those. So the rest of Alex's homework that we don't want to carry, rain jackets for the 2 of us, and a couple of bags, because you always need bags. And who doesn't just shove everything else on top? Like, that's what I do. Random.
Alex brought majority toys and then a handful of books, for which we are grateful. So yeah, especially for kids, recommend bringing some books. We do donate them to the Merida English Library when we're done. But of course, since quarantine, we really haven't gone to the English library because we can't really like go in and browse books very much, which is kind of necessary for how we choose our books. So I'm really happy actually with what we brought, especially looking back. There really haven't been too many things that I'm like, oh, we didn't need to bother with that. Watching this now, I miss my coffee more than ever because it was epic and super healthy. So okay, that is a review of what I brought a little over a year ago. I still stand by the things that I brought. Obviously, you have to choose what you want to bring. I know that when I was coming to Mexico, I binge watched as many what to pack for Mexico videos as I could. So I hope you found my original video helpful, as well as reviewing that video a year later. Let me know what items you think I missed or what items you think you must have when coming to Mexico.
Listen to it, couldn't do it. Each and every heart